All right, so now we want to start on our login. So I think that the file that we want to start in is auth_state.js, where we have our login function. Now, login is going to be pretty similar to register, except obviously we're hitting a different route. So I think what I'll do is just copy the register. Yeah, let's just grab this whole thing here and paste it here and change this to login. So login is also going to take in form data. We also need the header. We're going to keep that. The request, however, is going to go to API/auth. Okay, we're going to pass form data config, and then we're going to dispatch login success and send the response data as the payload. We're going to call load user, and then if there's an error, then we're going to call login fail and send the message, put the message in our state. So let's save this, and let's go ahead and go to our reducer, auth reducer, and let's handle those. So first thing we'll do is the login success. Now the login success is going to have the same effect as the register success. So let's say case, because remember, login and register, they both return a token. So we're going to take the token, put it in local storage, add everything to our state, and log in. Okay, and then let's see, for the login fail, we're going to do the same thing that we did with register fail and auth error. So let's say case login fail, and that's going to remove the token if there is one. That's going to set everything back to null. It's going to set the user to null, and it's going to pass the error into, or the payload into the error. So let's save that. And now let's go to our login component, so login.js, and we're going to do a lot of the same stuff we did in our register. I'm actually going to, let's close that up. I'm going to copy from the register file, bringing in auth context. And we're also going to bring in some hooks. We need use context and also use effect. Okay, and then we're going to initialize the context. So I'm going to grab that from here as well. We also want the alert context, because if it's invalid, we want to show that alert. So we want to grab the error and stuff like that, just like we did with the register. So right here, I'm going to paste in the alert context and auth context. And we can probably copy both of these as well from register. Except instead of the register method, we want the login method. And yeah, we can bring that stuff in. The use effect, we can copy that because we're doing the same stuff. We're checking to see if we're authenticated, because obviously we don't want to go to the login page if we're already logged in. And also we need to check for the error of invalid credentials. So let's put the use effect right here. And let's just change this to invalid credentials. Let me just make sure that's the correct message. So I'll go to routes auth. Okay, so it actually has an uppercase C. So let's change this. And then we'll set the alert. We'll clear the errors. And yeah, that should be good. Now, when we actually submit the form, right now it's just doing a console log. Obviously, we don't want that. Let's first of all make sure that the email and password are filled in. So we'll go ahead and just do a quick if here. And let's say if email is equal to nothing or password is equal to nothing, then we'll set alert and say please fill in all fields, danger. else. Now, I mean, again, you don't really have to do this checking. We could just put in required, which I guess I'll just do anyways. So here, and because we have validation on the back end. Okay, props is not defined, so we're calling props.historyPush, which is how we redirect. However, we didn't pass in props. Okay, I think that's good. Alert context is not defined. Oh, we didn't bring in alert context. Okay. And then the last thing we want to do is in the submit, in this else right here, this is where we want to call login. And we're going to pass in an object with the email and the password. So we'll save that. And what should happen is once we log in, we'll get redirected because we'll then be authenticated. It's going to change that part of the state. Okay, so let's go back to our browser, and I'm just going to remove any. Let's see if we have our token in storage, which I do. So I'm going to just completely get rid of that right here. And now if I reload, if I go to my auth state, we should have null for the user, and we should have is authenticated null. But let's go ahead and log in now. So we'll say, let's do sam@gmail. And log in, we get redirected. Is authenticated is true, and our user is stored right here. And if I reload, it should call load user again, because remember we're calling that from the home page here. And if we look in our provider, everything should still be there. Is authenticated true, all that stuff. All right, so we're almost there as far as authentication. We can register, log in, we can load our user. Now we just need the ability to log out. I also want to hide the register and login links up here if we're actually logged in. So we'll get into that in the next video.